All right, my brothers, this is another quick one. So I was thinking, this is kind of a follow up to yesterday's video. Was there's a quote I'll use which is "Let people enjoy things." Well, how about I fucking kill you? How about that? And that really always stuck with me because like that kind of makes sense, right? Like, oh, if you want me to do what I enjoy, how about I just shoot heroin or something? I don't know. you know, like it's not a it's not a good argument. Just let people use whatever works best for them because if I use what works best for me, I would go get myself a Mac Studio. I would run Logic Pro. I would run Final Cut. I would run iMovie, GarageBand, whatever else, I would have the Adobe suite because guess what? It works the best. So, guess what else? Windows works the best. Despite what we say, it's a bit better at just working, you know. So, as Linux users, we can't really make that argument. Just use what works best for you because what works best for you probably doesn't work on Linux. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can get a much better experience elsewhere, but that isn't why we use Linux. I mean, it could be for some people where they like run old hardware and they need Linux for something, or they need like a development environment that you can't get on Windows. I don't know. There are reasons to use Linux where it does excel, but for the most part, you can get for like the average user, you can get a pretty similar experience on Windows. Most of the Linux stuff runs on Windows anyways. So why, and this is again because it's a follow up. Matt from the Linux cast did find out what works best for him, and what worked best for him is Windows. So, you know, there's kind of a conflict here where it's like I want to use Linux, but because it's not the absolute best option, I'm just not going to use it. And I think that's kind of bad reasoning. I think that's a bad idea. Is like, yeah, you're going, and I wish people would know this, is when you use Linux, you will have to make sacrifices. So it's not going to work the best in every scenario for you because, yeah, you're not going to get those professional software. You're not going to get all those proprietary options you get on Windows. So, sorry about that, I'm waking up. So, what do you do? How do you argue against that? Where it's like, no, don't use what works best for you because you want to use Linux, so you're not going to always be using what's best for you. You're going to be using sometimes subpar software, stuff that doesn't do exactly what you want it to. Maybe you'll have to cobble together a few programs to get the same functionality. That's what it's like when you use Linux. And I don't think people understand that. So do not use what works best for you. That is my advice. Use what, like, if you're going to make especially like a moral decision to use Linux, yeah, you're not going to be using the best software available. And that's just kind of the fact of it. So that was really all I wanted to talk about today. I think that's enough. Thanks.